Well, greetings everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Some Bond Geek Talks About with me, your host. The name's Stevens, Henry Stevens. Everybody, how'd you do? Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying a good Bond film, a good Bond book, a good Bond video game, a good James Bond, whatever makes you part of this glorious fandom. Everybody, how'd you do? And today we're going to be discussing a question I find quite interesting, actually. But what is a Bond song? What exactly actually is a Bond song? What is the thing that makes a Bond song? Okay, but before we get into that, everybody, can I just do my customary bit of house cleaning? Can I ask everybody, please, if you haven't already, like and comment, subscribe to the channel. Why don't you also click the notification bell icon down below to see future updates and videos? And as always, everybody, just a massive thank you from me to you for coming on here and being part of the Some Bond Geek Talks About community. And leave your thoughts down below on what you think is a great Bond song, everybody, because I'd love to have that great conversation with you all. So everybody, what is a Bond song? Well, we all have our favourite ones, don't we? And, there are some that are very, very much connected to the whole of the Bond franchise. Things like Live and Let Die and Nobody Does It Better. They're songs everyone very knows. Yeah, they're Bond songs. You've also got, obviously, the most famous James Bond song of all, Goldfinger. I mean, everyone, think, Goldfinger, that instantly people connect to, yep, that's a James Bond song. And there have been songs that have, basically grown beyond the franchise, like Goldfinger. You've had recently Skyfall, and you've had Writing on the Wall for Spectre, sung by Sam Smith, who have gone on to win awards for their songs. Bond songs are a massive thing and a massive part of the Bond franchise, but, it can't just be any sort of song that can be a James Bond song. There is something unique about them, isn't there? And there's something that not other songs just don't have. So, what exactly is a Bond song? But first thing I think in asking that question is what actually is a sort of a title song, because that's what they are. Now, if you see on screen, I've just put it up now. A song that has the name of the play, musical, or film which it features. Also, and it could also be a song played during the titles of a film or television program, which is often has the same name. If you look at that, everybody, that really does, if you will, sum up what a title song is. I mean, you could say a Bond song is, because obviously it's a song that's played over the titles of a film. It normally has the name of it. But, to me, it's so much more than that. It is, because, you can't just put any old song in a Bond film, and you can't do that. It has to have there's a certain thing, isn't it, that it has to be, or a certain thing it has to have. Example being, if I use another Ian Fleming work, another from Eon, let's imagine we're watching Skyfall, everybody, and Bond is shot, falls down into the water, and suddenly it goes into chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Oh, you pretty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you. Now, I'm not dissing chitty chitty bang bang, everybody, but be honest, that wouldn't work, would it? It just wouldn't feel right, or it wouldn't be appropriate, would it? It just says there is something there that it has to be that. Now, my relationships with Bond songs is the first James Bond song I ever heard, and still to this day one of my favourites, is Goldeneye. Obviously, Goldeneye was the very first Bond film I watched, so it was my very first connection with a Bond song. And the Goldeneye, I think, as a Bond song, is still to this day one of my absolute favourites. And, it's very, very cool, it's very bit dangerous, it's really, really interesting in that aspect, I think. And obviously, ever since then, I've always been sort of excited whenever I watched the new Bond film. And, I was discovering the Bond films when I was younger. Always getting excited the bit where it was the end of pre-titles and I was going to finally listen to the next Bond song. The Bond song is a bit of like a marketing tool. It's exciting. It's like it's another part for me of the Bond films that you get excited about. Okay, what's the title song going to be like? What's it going to sound like? It is very much there. And I have been let down by a few, but we will get into that, everybody. And whenever a new film comes out, apart from like, oh, what's the title going to be? Who's going to star in it? I guarantee you, something I've always seen in my time growing up with James Bond, experiencing and here talking about James Bond songs, is people like going, right, all good, who's going to sing the title song? Literally, around the world, it's like, okay, new Bond film, who is going to sing the new title song? Because people do get concerned about that, and people really get into it. For me, the Bond songs, from my experience, have always been a way, no matter what sort, if you're not a casual fan, not really much of a fan, or a very hardcore fan, it's something universal, this Bond song, that everyone comes together and actually listens to and thinks about when it comes to James Bond, and actually has an opinion on. I've worked with people in my life who are not James Bond fans, but, when I say, oh, the new Bond song's out, he goes, oh, yeah, I'll listen to that, because they know these songs are something special. So, really, I do have quite an interesting connection with. I'm always looking forward to the next James Bond song. But for me, just going into analysing a Bond song, for me, they're split between two styles. For me, they always have been. The first option is a power ballad, and the second is, if you will, fast and dangerous. Now, power ballads are like Goldfinger and Skyfall and Four Eyes Only. I'm talking about those sort of songs. They have an operatic grandeur to them. They add that sort of operatic grandeur to the film, and they are mostly a sort of slower song. They're not really a fast bang, 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 bangy, bang, bang, bang song. They're very much a relaxed, sort of, very somber song, very powerful, as I say, with great, vocals going, probably at the end, and very much sort of things like that. And the other one is Fast and Dangerous. Now, I describe these songs as very much a fast tempo, generally have themes and ideas of danger and stuff like that. That's really where I have. Obviously, examples of these fast and dangerous songs for me is obviously Live and Let Die. You've got You Know My Name is a very, very great example. A View to a Kill. I suppose Another Way to Die. Those songs that are really much faster and have that lot of just that sort of different feel to them as the other sort of slow and powerful, ballads do. Do you all know what I mean by that? There is, I think, very much a clear difference between the two. Now, currently, I went through all the Bond films, and taking out the ones that have no lyrics in, that's basically Dr. No, From Russia with Love, and On a Majestic Service. I looked at that based on my two options, and I saw there was a ratio, okay, of 13 James Bond films that had the power ballads, and there was 8 films that had the fast and dangerous. Okay, so if you look at that, there is actually, I think, a bias and a preferred option of Bond films having a slow and powerful song. It's just something I noticed, everybody. So I want to ask you here right now, do you think there is, do you agree with my counting of that, by the way? Do you prefer the power ballad ones? But, we're just talking about the music here right now, everybody. I think everyone will get the lyrics in a Bond song are also just as important. Because what they normally do, and I think the best Bond songs do, is the lyrics often have themes about the film they're in, and talk a bit about sort of like cryptically events that are going to happen in the movie. Casino Royale, You Know My Name is a really great example of that, because it talks about, looking after number one, trusting no one a bit, but it's done very cryptically and talking about, that youthful inexperience. If you hear You Know My Name, you can hear it there. Skyfall very much, again, talked about this, the concept of, this is the end, it's all done now, just let it go, revolting in Bond's reaction at the time, like, I'm just leaving it all behind, going through a bit of a crisis. Live and Let Die very much talked about death and all that stuff. Goldfinger talked about the villain beefing him up, ready for the movie. You know what I mean? In the lyrics, there is this cryptic stuff that adds to it. So maybe that's one of the things that does make a James Bond song, really. It's the cryptic wording and choice of stuff in the movie that also adds to what makes a James Bond song, as well as these different styles. Because James Bond songs have developed over the years. We've had, as the decades have gone by, we've had many different people and different styles of what's popular at the time come in and do Bond songs. I mean, example being in the 80s, we've got Ahar doing The Living Daylights. I love that song, by the way. A very, a fast and dangerous song. That's very different than what you would have get in the 60s. In the 60s we had sort of Nancy Sinatra doing it. In the noughties we had, like Madonna and Chris Cornell do it. In the 90s we had Tina Turner, obviously Goldeneye, and Garbage doing World's Not Enough. We've had many different people who have, from the era go and add their things into Bond songs, but they still have aimed to this one particular thing, don't they, of what is a Bond song. And I think we're getting there, everybody, at what makes a Bond song. But let's look at now at the most current film coming out, soon to be released, hopefully, No Time to Die by Billie Eilish. An interesting choice, by the way. I wasn't really a fan of Billie Eilish pre this, and I finally listened to her music before, when she got announced she was going to do the new song. I have to admit, I fell in love with her music. I really, really like it now. Being absolutely honest, not gonna, I'll be honest and say this. because I know she was doing the Bond song, I really decided I wanted to try and see if I do like you or not, and I was pleasantly surprised at her material. I really liked it. She's doing quite the opposite. I would have suspected when she got announced, she was going to do a Fast and Dangerous song, but no, she's done a slow and dramatic power ballad, which I don't think she's ever done before, and showing us a different side to her. That's really cool. And if you look at her lyrics in the song, it's all about being betrayed and, and stuff like that, which is, I think, is going to play a big part in the movie, and, your past coming back to haunt you. Again, so that's adding to this thing. So with that as well, just looking at that, can I ask, is there a better one? And to be honest, I've shown you in this video that, there is a sort of tendency to do power ballads over Fast and Dangerous ones. But the honest answer is, I don't think between these two styles there is a different one. I think it depends on the film, actually. I think sometimes, depending on what film you've made, a power ballad could work better than a Fast and Dangerous one. It really does, I think, depend, and it changes based on personal preference. I do think we should get a few more faster and dangerous songs in the franchise, so I like the split between them. So yeah, that's one of the things. So honestly, I think more people out there are more interested in the power ballads than they are the Fast and Dangerous ones. But hey, that's just a personal opinion. As I say, I'm very much in the mix. So what is a Bond song? Well, for me, I think just looking at all of this, there are a couple things that make a Bond song. Number one, it's got to be something that is connected to the film, thematically in the music and lyrics. That's absolutely 100% for sure. It's got to be something related to that. It's also got to have a sense of elegance to them, because I think if you look at all the great Bond songs, they do have a sense of elegance to them. And I think it's just got to be something that everyone can get behind and actually really enjoy listening to. But everybody, look, that's my thoughts on what makes a Bond song. Obviously, I might have missed so much stuff you might disagree with. I want to know, everybody, comment down below. Tell me what you think makes a Bond song and what your favourite James Bond songs are. And I'm sure, like me, you're looking forward to watching No Time to Die, listening to Billie Eilish's song with the new title sequence as well, and just enjoying whatever future Bond song comes down the line, everybody. As always, everybody, my name's Henry Stevens, and this has been some Bond Geek Talks About. Goodbye.